Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan telah berdiri sejak tahun 1960 yang merupakan fakultas pertama di lingkungan Universitas Ahmad Dahlan. Melalui perjalanan dan pengalaman panjang, saat ini Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan memiliki 11 program Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan satu program studi sejak tahun 1960 dan 6 program studi yang merupakan fakultas pertama di Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan Universitas. Melalui perjalanan dan pengalaman panjang, saat ini Fakultas Keguruan serta memadai memiliki proses Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan program studi sejak tahun 1960 dan 6 program studi yang merupakan fasilitas yang dimiliki dan dapat Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan Universitas melalui perjalanan dan pengalaman panjang saat ini Fakultas Keguruan serta memadai memiliki proses Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan program studi sejak tahun 1960 dan 6 program studi yang merupakan fasilitas yang dimiliki dan dapat Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan Universitas melalui perjalanan dan pengalaman panjang saat ini Fakultas Keguruan serta memadai memiliki Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan program studi sejak tahun 1960 dan 6 program studi yang merupakan fasilitas yang dimiliki dan dapat Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan Universitas melalui perjalanan dan pengalaman panjang saat ini serta memadai Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan sejak tahun 1960 dan 6 program studi yang merupakan fasilitas yang dimiliki dan dapat Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan melalui perjalanan dan pengalaman panjang saat ini ruang sidang dan ruang sidang Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu yang merupakan fasilitas yang dimiliki dan dapat Keguruan dan Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan telah berdiri sejak tahun 1960 yang merupakan fakultas pertama di lingkungan Universitas Ahmad Dahlan. Melalui perjalanan dan pengalaman panjang, saat ini Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan memiliki 11 program studi strata 1, 1 program studi pendidikan profesi guru, dan 6 program studi strata 2. Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan Universitas Ahmad Dahlan memiliki fasilitas yang berkualitas sangat baik serta memadai untuk mendukung proses akademik baik di tingkat sarjana, magister, dan lebih khusus program studi S3 pendidikan. Fasilitas yang dimiliki dan dapat digunakan dalam proses belajar mengajar, penelitian, dan pengabdian masyarakat meliputi amphitheater, amphitheater dan data center, masjid, ruang kuliah. Ruang kuliah terdapat 3 ruang kuliah dengan kapasitas masing-masing 30 orang. Ruang kuliah ini berada di lantai 3 kampus 2 UAD. Ruangan ini juga dilengkapi dengan smartboard, proyektor, whiteboard, meja, dan kursi. Setiap ruang kelas sudah ber-AC, sehingga menambah kenyamanan dosen dan mahasiswa selama proses perkuliahan berlangsung. Ruang kuliah ini digunakan di tahap pertama kuliah atau coursework yang memuat 100 poin mata kuliah, desain penelitian, metodologi penelitian, dan kajian literatur. Ruang sidang dan auditorium. Ruang sidang diperuntukkan bagi mahasiswa dalam penyelenggaraan seminar proposal disertasi, seminar diseminasi produk inovasi hasil penelitian, seminar hasil penelitian disertasi, dan ujian kelayakan. Ruang ini dilengkapi dengan meja, kursi, LCD proyektor, sound system yang mendukung keterlaksanaan seminar maupun ujian kelayakan. Auditorium diperuntukkan bagi dosen dan mahasiswa dalam penyelenggaraan kegiatan-kegiatan akademik seperti seminar, workshop, maupun stadium general. Ruangan ini dilengkapi dengan meja, kursi, LCD proyektor, dan sound system yang memadai. Perpustakaan. Perpustakaan Universitas Ahmad Dahlan memiliki 5 fungsi utama, yaitu sumber informasi, tempat untuk mencari dan mengakses beragam sumber informasi seperti buku, jurnal, majalah, dan sumber-sumber elektronik untuk mendukung kegiatan akademik dan penelitian dosen dan mahasiswa. Tempat belajar, menyediakan lingkungan yang tenang dan nyaman bagi mahasiswa untuk belajar, membaca, dan melakukan penelitian. Penyediaan layanan, menyediakan layanan seperti peminjaman koleksi, referensi, repositori institusi, literasi informasi, cek kesamaan kata, dan bantuan penelitian untuk membantu mahasiswa. Ruang kolaborasi. Perpustakaan juga menyediakan ruang untuk kolaborasi kelompok, seminar, dan lokakarya. Pengembangan koleksi, melakukan pengadaan dan pemeliharaan koleksi perpustakaan sesuai dengan kebutuhan akademik dan riset. Ruang baca. Ruang baca seluas 22,5 meter persegi ini memfasilitasi mahasiswa untuk mengakses berbagai referensi cetak maupun online dan membacanya di tempat ataupun dicetak dan dibawa pulang. Tersedia mesin scan, kopi, printer di area yang sama. Meja, kursi, dan fasilitas pendukung disediakan bagi mahasiswa dengan kapasitas maksimal 15 orang. Ruang jurnal online. Ruang jurnal online merupakan ruang yang mendukung pemanfaatan ruang baca dan dapat digunakan untuk mengakses jurnal berbayar yang telah dilanggan oleh Universitas Ahmad Dahlan. Ruang seluas 16 meter persegi ini telah dilengkapi 6 kursi dan meja yang representatif untuk penyediaan 3 komputer. Ruang belajar mandiri. Ruang belajar mandiri dilengkapi dengan pantry dan locker. Ruang diskusi. Ruang diskusi mahasiswa memfasilitasi mahasiswa Doktor Ilmu Pendidikan untuk berkarya kolaboratif, diskusi, dan melakukan kajian-kajian keilmuan pendidikan dalam kelompok. Ruang seluas 12 meter persegi ini telah dilengkapi dengan meja oval dan kursi untuk kapasitas maksimal 10 orang. Laboratorium Kependidikan. Laboratorium Kependidikan merupakan fasilitas yang digunakan untuk merancang, mengorganisasikan, mengimplementasikan, dan mengevaluasi berbagai program pengembangan dan studi kasus kependidikan antar program studi dengan pengelola sekolah mitra. Laboratorium Kependidikan didukung oleh 12 lembaga mitra yang relevan dengan pencapaian profil lulusan, yaitu SMP Negeri 5 Yogyakarta, SMA Muhammadiyah 1 Yogyakarta, SMA Negeri 5 Yogyakarta, SMK Muhammadiyah 3 Yogyakarta, SMK Negeri 2 Yogyakarta, Majelis Dikdaksmen PWM DI Yogyakarta, Dikpora DI Yogyakarta, Balai Penjaminan Mutu Pendidikan Daerah Istimewa Yogyakarta, Balai Besar Pengembangan dan Penjaminan Mutu Pendidikan Vokasi, Seni dan Budaya. Selain itu, FKIP UAD juga menjalin kerjasama dengan 192 sekolah dari jenjang PAUD, SD, SMP, SMA, dan SMK. Ruang seluas 60 meter persegi ini berkapasitas 20 orang, dilengkapi dengan meja, kursi, dan LCD proyektor yang mendukung diskusi-diskusi dengan mitra. Laboratorium Multimedia Pendidikan. Laboratorium Multimedia Pendidikan bertujuan untuk memfasilitasi pelaksanaan praktikum serta pelatihan multimedia dan komputasi mahasiswa. Laboratorium Multimedia juga memfasilitasi pengembangan produk multimedia inovatif untuk berbagai kebutuhan, baik pembelajaran, administrasi, maupun promosi lembaga. Laboratorium ini terdiri atas 2 ruangan yang masing-masing seluas 64 meter persegi berkapasitas 25 orang. Laboratorium ini dilengkapi dengan meja, kursi, komputer, LCD proyektor, dan kamera. Ruang multimedia. Ruang multimedia diperuntukkan bagi dosen dan mahasiswa untuk melakukan simulasi dan pengembangan multimedia pembelajaran. Ruang seluas 81 meter persegi ini berkapasitas 30 orang, dilengkapi dengan meja dan kursi, serta perlengkapan untuk mengakses multimedia pembelajaran seperti smartboard, smart LED TV, dan LCD proyektor. Laboratorium Komputasi dan Audiovisual merupakan laboratorium untuk pembelajaran dan penelitian dosen dan mahasiswa dalam pengembangan integrasi teknologi dalam pembelajaran fisika.
Ya, mulai aja. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning or good night in your country, Dr. Isaac John Ibanga. How are you? Still unmute your mics, please.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. You can hear me
How
now?
are you?
I'm doing good. It's nice seeing your face.
Thank you for your coming to our program. This is my honor to be a host for this program, and we will start our program. Are you ready for the presentation, Doctor?
Yes, I am very much ready. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, ladies and gentlemen. Alhamdulillahirobbilalamin. We are together in this guest lecture of the doctorate program of Ahmad Dahlan University. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this guest lecture. It's a pleasure to see so many bright and enthusiastic faces among us today. Our event today is going to be truly special as we will gaining valuable insight from the highly respected expert in this field, Professor Dr. Isaac John Ibanga from Modibbo, Adama University, Yola, Adama State, Nigeria. And I think Prof. Ibanga is an extraordinary educational leader in his country who has been dedicated to improving in educational system in Nigeria. Even his major is in electrical engineering. And today's theme of our guest lecture is about the teacher professionalism development, especially in Nigeria, we can discuss about this teacher professionalism, and we will can compare about the teacher development in Nigeria and Indonesia for our further research and studies. In his presentation, Professor Ibanga will delve into the challenge facing teacher professionalism and development in Nigeria, and I think he will also will discuss how to overcome this challenge. With this experience and insight, I am confident that we will gain valuable, inspirational insight from his presentation. Let me introduce the keynote speaker's background. Professor Isaac John Ibanga, PhD, is an erudite scholar, researcher, and lecturer, and I think it's still in the sandwich degree program of the Faculty of Education in Modibbo, Adama University, Nigeria. And as I mentioned previously, he specialized in electrical technology education. And you can reach Professor Ibanga in his email, isaacjohn@mau.edu.ng. And I would like to inform to Dr. Ibanga about our department. We are from the Doctor of Education program at Ahmad Dahlan University, or we call UAD. This program was launched earlier this year. I think our program is still new, and it's already underway. We have already 6 students for doctor program from several areas in Indonesia, and we open the admission every semester, and then every student, every coming student can admit to the doctorate program every semester. And for you know that the UAD is a private campus in Indonesia, but we believe that UAD have a very good ranking in Indonesia among the other private university. Okay, I would like to invite Dr. Ibanga to present your valuable experiences about 30 minutes, 30 minutes, and then we following the 15-minute question and answer session. And yeah, hopefully we can get the insight, enlightening, and enriching session ahead. Please, time is yours for Dr. Ibanga to present your presentation. And we also thank you very much for your attendance to join this conference. To join this guest lecture. Hopefully, we can together hear the Dr. Ibanga presentation. Time is yours, Dr. Ibanga. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Professor Doi Solisro. I am very, very much grateful for this wonderful privilege accorded to me. I had not thought of it that it will come so soon, but I am very grateful. Assalamu alaikum barakatuh. So all the participants of this very day. My name is Isaac John Ibanga, a doctor of electrical technology education. I specialized in technology education with a special interest in education that has to do with teaching methods. These teaching methods that has to do with anything in the classroom. Once it is classroom issues, it is my field. And I am very grateful for this very wonderful opportunity given to me so that I could express, share the little of my experiences with all of you. I will present the paper on teachers' professionalism development in Nigeria. Nigeria, just like many other developing countries, we have not reached that very climax at which we are expected to project. We said, yes, a teacher will come out and tell you proudly that I am a teacher. We are lacking certain criteria, though there are ongoing efforts to ensure that the professionalism of teaching of teachers are maintained. Nevertheless, there are certain issues. So I will start my paper by looking at teaching itself. What does teaching mean? Teaching is a revered and it's a noble profession which involves the deliberate action aimed at fostering learning in less experienced person. While we're in school, we discover that it is an act of imparting knowledge in order to bring out a behavioral change in a learner. Now, scholars have articulated diverse perspective on teaching. Teaching is viewed as a means to facilitate meaningful learning, employing morally and pedagogically accepted method. Now, teaching is not just all about standing up and start talking. No, it has to be arranged sequentially, progressing from simple to complex. Now, when you are teaching, as a teacher, you don't need to say, okay, everybody understands me. No, you have to understand the concept of individual differences. When you understand the concept of individual differences in your classroom, then you can be able to carry out an effective teaching process. Teaching and learning does not only end when an individual is taught 1+1. He knows that 1+1 is 2. No, it goes beyond that. It includes a kind of attitudinal change. There should be change in the behavior of the child or of the learner. When you are teaching the child, you should be able to see that what you are teaching is creating something very, very important in the child. So, you as a teacher, you are just like a marketer. Now, this is what happens as you are a marketer. When you take up your product and you want to convince a prospective buyer to buy that very product, what happens? You have to convincingly tell the person that, yes, you are in a very good state of mind. One. Secondly, you have to convince the buyer that what you are selling to him is very, very good. The same thing with the teacher. The teacher here in this palace means the student, the marketer. You as a teacher, you want to sell this your knowledge to your students. Okay, let me share my screen. I'm coming, sorry. Okay. As I was saying, sorry, I was trying to share my screen, but I am having a little technical issue here. So Prof will help me do that. So now I'm still at the introduction point, Prof. That is, thank you. Okay, Prof is helping me doing that. This is wonderful. So, we are. You see at That's where I am at the red point. They will see the red pen. Introduction. Go back to introduction, sir. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. Then, yes, I was saying that you as a teacher, you are like a marketer. Now, the teacher, you are you want to sell a product. Now, this product is the knowledge that you have, and you want to sell it to the students who is naive, who is a novice, who has not understood anything about teaching, about what you are trying to teach him. All that you need to do is that you must employ strategies and methods. You have to try on your own to employ strategies and methods in which you will sell this very product to the students, and you will be able to attract his attention and keep it for a very long time. So you can see that when this is done, it helps the student understands. That was why I told at first that teaching goes beyond teaching and learning, entering the class with your marker or whatever writing material and end it there. No, teaching is beyond that. Teaching is a situation whereby you bring an expectable change in behavioral patterns of the learner and ensuring that that learner becomes a good citizen. Now, the problem with teaching in Nigeria is that it has been thought to be a second option for whosoever is not getting what he or she wanted. Teaching in Nigeria has been prioritized by people who could not succeed in their chosen vocation. And these people believe that teaching is just a spare time job that allows them to simultaneously engage in other fields. These same people, when they got a better option, they will leave because teaching was never part of their passion. They were just making do with what they could not get as at that time. What do I mean? What I mean is that in Nigeria, there are certain standards set for teachers. For you to become a teacher in Nigeria, you have to follow certain criteria. You have to fulfill it. But unfortunately, these processes are not held. Everyone that has gone to the high school, to the college, that is university, is believed to be able to teach. So when they come out, they get themselves engaged in secondary school and in primary school. That is, when they engage themselves, they now use that to keep themselves as a spare job. When they keep themselves during this time busy, they will not tell you that they are not into teaching. They have their own profession. It is just that they could not get a job. And when they get a job, they will leave the profession. Because these are people that have not been morally taught to be teachers. Now, let's look at what is the concept of profession and professionalism. What is a profession? A profession is an occupation or a vocation that necessitates specialized skills, knowledge in a particular field of study, and a specific qualification. This professionalism, it has to do with a certain criteria. A person must be trained in a particular field. And that field, there are only selected people. Only those people that have studied that field can come together and call themselves, we are professionals. Because they will be guided by certain principles. They will be guided by certain criteria that they have set for themselves in order to uphold that very training that they had received. So it is not just anyhow. You have to receive a specialized training. You have to have a specialized kind of certificate, and you have to be recognized by it in all your associations. So profession, when we talk about profession, a profession is an occupation that reliant on specialized intellectual study and training to offer skilled services to society for a fee. That means those people that have, when you offer these services, you will be paid for it because you have received a specialized kind of training in it. Now, professionalizing teaching in Nigeria, or the process at which teaching is professionalized, is that teaching is a process of integrating controlled mechanism into teaching career to ensure that practitioners uphold the standards of the profession. The teacher, before you will be called a teacher, you must have undergone some certain specialized training. After you have received this training, then you have to be certified. If you have been certified, then you can now be called a teacher. That is the process of professionalizing teaching. Now let's look at the features and characteristics of a profession. What are the features and characteristics of a profession? Now, a profession has so many features. And for a profession to be what it is, it has to follow certain characteristics. Now, what are the characteristics of a profession? Number one is that it has to have a foundational knowledge. A foundational knowledge. That is the number one features of a profession. Now, this foundational knowledge we are talking about is that a profession is rooted in a systematic body of knowledge, necessitating specialized education to equip practitioners with fundamental mental skills and a robust scientific understanding. Now, you have to be knowledgeable in your field. Let's take, for example, a doctor. Now, for you to be called a doctor, you have to go through some certain number of years, go through housemanship in the case of a Nigeria, and at the end of the day, when you come out, you belong to the Nigerian Medical Association. Now, when you do these things, you have to understand the methods in which you are giving this knowledge from. How? Looking at it, the acquisition of knowledge occurs through formal education in a recognized institution, demanding high intelligence, competence, and extensive training period. For you to have the foundational knowledge, you have to attain a recognized institution, that this institution offers this very course. When they offered it and they are being recognized by the government of the country in which that very institution is domiciled. When you have done that, and on your path as a person, you are expected to exhibit high level of intelligence. You have to exhibit competencies, and you have to show that you have completed all that is required of you. When you have done that, it is very, very important for you to show that you have mastered your core knowledge. And when you have done that, then you can be said that you have the foundational knowledge of that very profession. Now, the next one is the professional code of ethics. The professional code of ethics. What is the professional code of ethics? This professional code of ethics, it is a framework or a blueprint that carries the rules, values, norms, and standards to regulate every entry into that very profession. Whatever thing you do, it must conform to the ethics and norms of that very profession, and it has to be regulated so that there could be reward and punishment. Because if it is not regulated, you cannot say this person is doing well in this field, or every Dick and Harry can come in and start doing what he wish. But it is not like that. In a profession, it has to have a code of conduct for all the members of that very organization or that very profession. Now, the next one is the professional organization. Now, what do we mean by professional organization? This professional organization is that you have to have a body that can speak on your behalf, can stand up on your behalf as a member of that very organization. Now, for teachers in Nigeria, at the primary and secondary level, we have what is called the Nigerian Union of Teachers, NUT, for this primary and the secondary. And when you enter into the tertiary level, every tertiary level have their own association or recognized body. Like in the universities, we have the association of the Association of University Union. Then we call it ASU by abbreviation, ASU. Then the next one, you have the colleges of education. The colleges of education, they call themselves KWASU. That is Colleges of Education Association of Academic Staffs. Then you have in the Polytechnic. Now, all these things gathers themselves and form an organization that could work what you need. Now, the next one is that it has to have a controlled entrance, which the Nigerian Nigerian professionals, that is the teaching profession, does not have a controlled entrance. Now, the controlled entrance is that it has to do with a particular method of which you can be admitted into the organization. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, anybody can just get up and go and register with the Nigerian Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, TRCN. Whether that person studies education or not, it lacks that controlled entrance. So for a profession to be recognized as a profession, it has to have a controlled entrance so that people entering into that very profession will be regulated. Not everybody that stands up one day and come, then the next thing he's been admitted. No, it is not that. It has to have a controlled entrance. Then one of the next characteristics of a profession is that it has freedom of practice. Once you are a member of that very profession, you should have freedom to practice it anywhere and anytime you wish. So it has the members of that very profession must enjoy unrestricted autonomy in their operation. The next thing is the professional and in-service growth. In teaching, we hamper most on professional and in-service growth because teaching and learning is dynamic. Every day, new things evolves, new discoveries are made. So if you as a teacher will remain because you have learned that formally and you don't want to upgrade your knowledge on it, then you have a problem because you will not work with time. Your knowledge will be outdated. Some principles that you have held onto will be challenged by the new knowledge. So that is why you have to have an in-service or professional growth in your profession. The next one is the legal recognition. As a profession, if you are not legally recognized by law, then you are not a profession. You are just a group of people that have gathered themselves not knowing what to do. A profession must be recognized by law. That very body must be registered with the country ministry that is in charge of such registration. So you must be recognized by law that that profession is recognized. You are practicing this profession. And because you are recognized by law, you can sue and be sued. So if you cannot be sued, there is no need of it. There is no need. If at the end of the day, when you are being challenged, it is only for yourself, no, that means you have a problem. Now, the next thing, it has to have period of either internship or apprenticeship. What do we mean by period of apprenticeship? That means it has to have period in which you have to learn this very profession. You have to learn it. For how long will this person learn this? Okay, 12 weeks, 10 weeks, 2 years, 4 years, it is that. Now, let's look at the concept of professionalism. What is professionalism? Professionalism embodies the adherence to high ethical standards, the demonstration of competence, and the embodiment of integrity in one's professional endeavor. When they said this person has exhibited professionalism. That means that person has in his life has demonstrated some certain core competencies. The person has demonstrated ethical standards. The person has demonstrated honesty and integrity. Because in your profession, you are being guided by professional code of ethics. When you are guided by this, you are expected to show professionalism in that which you do. Now, let's look at the importance of teachers' professionalism in Nigeria. Teachers' professionalism in Nigeria. Teachers' professionalism plays a critical role in education landscape in Nigeria, contributing significantly to the quality of education and the overall development of the nation. That is the importance of professionalism in Nigeria on the aspects of teaching. Now, as a teacher, the following are the importance of professionalism in Nigeria. The following: number one is that professional teachers serve as role model for students. As a teacher, the students look up to you. They don't have any other mentor except you. When they come into the class, mostly if you are teaching children between age 3 to 10, at this very age bracket, students or pupils in primary school, that is the elementary school, believes that whatever thing you do or whatever thing you say is the correct thing. Even if their parents will tell them that it is not the correct thing, they will never accept it, because they believe that that thing that you are saying to them is the correct thing. So you are their role model. You will see them mimicking you even in the way you speak, the way you talk, and the way you do you dress. They would like to mimic you. The same thing, the professional teacher is expected to be committed to uphold the ethical standards and deliver high quality instruction. The professional teacher is expected to enhance his credibility. So these are the things that the teacher is expected to do. Now, looking at the professional teaching profession in Nigeria, as teaching in Nigeria is understood to be the cornerstone of the education system. But nevertheless, with this understanding that it is the critical aspect, yet there is a problem that Nigerians are facing. What are these problems? We have poor numeration, poor teaching environment, poor learning, poor ethics. When we said ethics, in terms of registering features, they do not have a kind of a controlled entrance. That is the major problem we have in teaching profession in Nigeria. And it has been continuing like that for years. Now, the next thing is that the factors influencing teaching profession in Nigeria. Now, we have listed some to include teacher training and qualification. As a teacher, before you will be called a teacher in Nigeria, you must go through the teacher training colleges, either in the university or in the College of Education. College of Education are established mainly for teaching, for grading students. And the pre-service teachers, so that they will be able to teach or inculcate this learning into the students. So before these are the factors: the teacher training and qualification, the remuneration and working condition. Just like what I said the working condition for teachers in Nigeria, in fact, I will say it's one of the worst in the state, in the world. Teachers are not well remunerated. The next one is the support and recognition. Teachers, once you say you are a teacher, they consider you as a riffraff. They don't give you that, they don't accord you that very maximum respect, because they know that every Dick and Harry can get up tomorrow and say he's a teacher and it will be accepted. Now, there are these ethical standards. Now, teaching has lost its ethical standards because it is no more regulated. These are the factors that are influencing it. And government policies and educational reforms. It takes time for our education to undergo reforms. And when they undergo these reforms, it takes time for it to be implemented. Now, for teaching profession in Nigeria, you have to acquire qualifications and credentials for you to be a teacher. Though it is not followed, neither is it adhered to, but to some certain extent, you have to be certified as a teacher. Even if you do not undergo the teacher training process, you can come back and do what is called the postgraduate diploma in education, or the professional diploma in education. So any of these can still work. So in the certification, we have the academic certification, the professional certification. All this includes process in which you can continuously develop yourself in the teaching profession in Nigeria. Now, let's look at the ethical standard. Now, the Code of Conduct for Teachers in Nigeria serves as a guiding framework for professional conduct and standards in the teaching profession. However, these standards are not adhered to, because you will see somebody from finishing a high school, which in Nigeria we call the secondary school. Immediately he finished, the next thing you will see him in the class teaching without having that pre-knowledge of teaching. He will be considered as a teacher. This is one of the things that is damning the integrity and in the integrity of teaching profession in Nigeria. The next thing we have is the pedagogical competence. That is 4.0, the pedagogical competence. The pedagogical competence we are talking about is your ability to deliver, to teach, or introduce innovation into your teaching and learning processes. If you, as a teacher, you could teach effectively, then you will be able to achieve your objectives. That is your stated behavioral objectives. But in a situation whereby you are not pedagogically competent, there is a problem. Because number one, you have to master the subject matter. What you are teaching, you should be able to have a good knowledge of it. Should be able to have a very good knowledge of what you are teaching. So, and you have to be, you should be able to effectively deliver your instructions. That is effective instructional strategies. You must not now make your teaching and learning boring to the students. You have to introduce some innovation, a kind of differentiated instruction for the diverse learners in the class. You have to, as a teacher in this process. And apart from that, there is what is called classroom management. Classroom management. And in classroom management, you have to establish a conducive learning environment in your class. Apart from establishing this conducive learning environment, you have to ensure that you manage the students' behaviors effectively. Because there are some students that could be very funny in the class, they could be very disturbing. But you as a teacher, it is your duty, it behoves on you to manage this very attitude maximally so that you could achieve whatever thing you want to achieve in the class. And as a teacher in the class, you have to ensure that you promote students' engagement and participation. You must not come into the class and just start talking, only you. After talking, you said you move. No. You have to ensure that classroom management is taken to the core. Each student in the class participate in whatever thing you are doing. After that, you have to collaborate with your peers. No teacher should consider himself or herself as an island. I can do it all alone. No.
Excuse me,
You are not
Doctor.
a...
Yeah, your time
Thank
is 2 minutes left.
Thank you. Thank you very
Yes.
much. So you as a professional teacher, you have to ensure that you work with your colleagues. Very, very important. You have to ensure that you have a reflective practice. After each teaching process, teaching and learning activity, you should come out, diagnose yourself again, reassess yourself. How was it? How did I do it? And once you are able to do this, you will be able to show up the right teaching and inculcate the right learning into the students. My beloved participants, it is indeed a great thing to have me this very morning. And I will tell you that teaching is a noble profession. But so many things, so many people, they are taking it as a second option, as just a spare time, part-time jobs. And this is not what we wish in the teaching profession. Thank you for listening, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Dr. Isaac Johnny Banga, for your presentation. And I think we can know from his presentation about the teacher development in Nigeria. And more or less, we have the same situation, the most complicated challenge to develop the teacher professionalism in Indonesia also. And we know that the teacher development is very important, not only in Nigeria and Indonesia, but among the all countries in this world. And now we follow the next session and the question and answer session. Please raise your hand from the participant who will offer the question. Mention your name, institution, and what the question in the short sentence. Please time to the audience, to the participant to share your knowledge, your question in this session. You can raise your hand. No question? Oh.
Hmm. I hope they understand English too. Prof, I
Yes.
English.
You
They
can
could,
ask in Bahasa Indonesia and we will translate to English if you
yes,
any difficulties in
uh-huh,
English.
yes, uh-huh.
What's that?
Mm-hmm.
Please, students, you can answer. You can raise your hand and offer your questions. Okay, no question. And we will very thank you very much to your presentation, Doctor. And
Thank you very much.
I think what your presentation is very valuable for me, for us, and we can compare about the situation of teacher development between Nigeria and Indonesia. And we
Thank
found
you.
the similar challenges and we found the same obstacle how to improve the teacher qualification. And in Indonesia, we have some scheme to improve them. We call the program profesi guru, the teacher profession program from the Minister of the Education,
Hmm.
to prepare the student to be a teacher. They will be entered to the program about 1 years, and after that they will have the teacher qualification, teacher professionalism and qualification to be a teacher, and they will go to the schools in Indonesia, and they have the recognition as a teacher. And we also in the same situation for about the remuneration, low remuneration compared to the other profession. I think we have the same situation between Nigeria and Indonesia also, and other situation. By the way, any question again from your participants? No? Okay. We now at the end of the event.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. On behalf of the Ahmad Dahlan University, we are very thanks to Dr. Ishak John Ibanga for your time, your valuable insight, knowledge, and
Thank you
then
very much.
we can collaborate in the other activities in the future. And thank you
Thank you
very
very
much
much.
from the participant for your time to join this guest lecture. Hopefully, we can now the new insight about the Nigeria situation, especially in the teacher professionalism development, and we will
Yeah.
join in the other event in the future. We can close
Thank you
this
very much.
event by saying Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin.
Alhamdulillah.
Thank you very
Alhamdulillah.
much again to Dr. Ishak
Alhamdulillah.
John Ibanga,
Thank you very
and
much, sir.
we
Thank you,
close
sir.
this event. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah.
Masa udah lari-lari? Ada ikut. Nih. Enggak.